99% of people in crypto have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to crypto. In this video, I want to talk about exactly what that means and give you a way to understand whether or not you're one of those people. Guys, at the end of the video, I also want to talk about what I believe is probably the thing that is going to mark the bottom in the cryptocurrency market. There is one specific trade unwinding right now that I believe is going to have downstream effects for the entire DeFi cryptocurrency sector. In this video, I want to paint that picture and just show you what I believe has the potential to be the black swan of this 2026 crypto cycle. Guys, make sure to stick around for this whole thing. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of very important concepts that a lot of people are totally glossing over. Like always, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And that's it, let's jump right into it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'll jump right in the video and first talk about why most of the people in crypto don't understand crypto. Guys, over the past couple days, I've done a whole bunch of podcasts, talked to a whole bunch of people, and really just kind of took a pulse on the market to see where we are. And the truth is every single time I talk to people in the cryptocurrency industry, outside of a few particular groups, they always focus on one core thing. They focus on the idea of the underlying tokens of these different blockchains and their price action being the most important reason why they are in this asset class. What do I mean by that? When people talk about Solana, when people talk about Ethereum, when people especially talk about things like Hyperliquid, they focus so much on the price of the token. The entire sentiment of everything they're talking about all relies on what the token is doing. And I understand there's a big emotional piece to that. But for them, it's all a trading vehicle. It's all a way to speculate on the direction of that particular asset. And while that is no doubt a way to make money in the short term, that is no doubt a way to create some kind of profit on a short time horizon, it completely ignores what has been successful over the long run. If you took a snapshot of what was successful in 2000 during the dot-com bubble, it would not give you any indication of what would be successful 10 years from there. But what would give you a very good and successful outlook was a deep understanding of each individual business model and which one was going to persist. Because at the end of the day, only one thing mattered. And that was that the large amount of investment dollars out there, the financial institutions, they were going to deploy into these specific products and protocols and companies that had a long-term outlook and were building sustainable outcomes. They're building sustainable businesses that could stand the test of time. And the reason why financial institutions were going to invest into those specifically is it's simply how humans invest. What humans do is they take a specific asset, they take a specific company, they take a specific stock, and they say, how long is this going to be relevant in human society? And the more relevant, the more influential, the more important that specific asset is, the more investment dollars it garners. Now, yes, obviously it can get a lot more complex than that, but at the end of the day, find a single case where that's not true. Whether it's Tesla, whether it's Nvidia, whether it's, who cares, Walmart. The things that built long-term sustainable companies, long-term sustainable value, and remained relevant in society, those are the investments that did the best. Now, the truth is that has nothing to do with the underlying price action of the specific asset, especially in the early days. It has to do with something else. It has to do with building something that can stand the test of time. That means having a long-term value proposition that will be useful. The truth is the vast majority of cryptocurrency projects, in my opinion, focused on things that were unsustainable. We have a financial system that is over 200 years old. And the truth is the vast majority of financial products out there already exist. Most crypto projects out there try to reinvent the wheel. They tried to create a new economy. They tried to say, okay, let's ignore the quadrillions of dollars in the old system and let's just go build something new. And while I appreciate the vision, while I appreciate the effort, in my opinion, it was never realistic. The truth is cryptocurrency technology is not a new financial system in the way a lot of people think it is. It's new rails for an ever-evolving current financial system. And that's what I think people missed out. It wasn't that when we had the advent of the last real revolution, which I would argue when it comes to finance was the implementation of digital messaging, right? Not digital settlement, digital messaging. The capability to go onto your Charles Schwab account, the capability to go onto your Robinhood account and move money, right? Is more the idea of moving the idea of money. You're not actually moving the money, but the idea that you can log in and have a new interface to interact with, guess what? The same system everyone is using before. The truth is the vast majority of cryptocurrency projects out there are trying to solve a problem that is so much bigger than them. They want to recreate a brand new financial system and completely leave the old one behind. And what Ripple has been saying since day one is that was just never realistic. And the truth is while everyone else was focused on building that, Ripple is focusing on something completely different. And Ashish Burla actually backed this up. What Ripple was focusing on was getting licenses, expanding their reach, and building projects with financial institutions that weren't ready for adoption yet. And for the longest time, people put this as a negative. They said, oh, Ripple's just focusing on things that don't matter. Oh, Ripple's just focusing on pilots that are never going to get adopted. But the truth is what Ripple was really doing was building trust and understanding what their clients were going to need when they were eventually going to adopt blockchain technology. And that's the thing that I think most people missed. So many people either thought that the old guard was never going to adopt blockchain technology and or they were going to be completely disintermediated by new players coming in. And what Ripple said is just in the same exact way as the financial system every single time before in the past with the advent of new technology was iterated on rather than displaced, this time is going to be no different. And what Ripple's goal was to implement the new financial layers of blockchain technology into the existing financial system rather than trying to usurp it and build a new one from scratch. Because they understood that was never going to happen. Guys, I believe we are heading into the world of institutional adoption. And the players who took the realistic approach of building rails and products that can be adopted by the old guard will end up being the NVIDIAs, the Teslas, the Walmarts of the next generation asset class we're seeing taking off. And XRP is going to be at the center of all of it. People are going to want a way to invest into the underlying crypto projects that are fueling the next generation financial system. And I believe the only player who's taken the appropriate approach to make this revolution happen has been Ripple in their ground roots implementation of the XRP ledger into the veins of the old guard. Not telling the old guard, hey, drop everything what you're doing, go hire a bunch of blockchain engineers and come over here. No, instead just injecting cryptocurrency straight into their business by building partnerships and software that they need to be exposed to. Guys, with that said, I do think there's one more hurdle we need to clear, and I mentioned this in the earlier part of the video. A lot of people have been asking me, well, what is going to indicate the bottom of this market? What is going to finally stop the market from crashing? And guys, as someone who's been through multiple cycles, one thing that I think always remains true is it seems like someone always has to go belly up. Someone has to be caught offsides. Someone has to be exposed and doing something wrong. And typically that is the reason why there was so much selling going into it, right? Everyone's always like, well, what is so bad about the market right now? Everyone's so bullish. The fundamentals are so great. Institutions are coming in. Why is the market selling off? Well, guys, I would argue that there's probably someone who is on the verge of going bankrupt. There is probably someone on the verge of blowing up. And I'll just say this. That player has probably been selling crypto for the past couple months. There's probably a lot of people on the inside who know this player is in trouble and wanted to front run them going under. Could it have to do with that 10-10 event where prices of crypto crashed 90% and then shot back up? Like, there are some weird things going on. And guys, while I don't know what the actual thing is going to be, I'll just put my guess on this. I believe likely what has been happening is a lot of the crypto DeFi market that's been having a lot of trouble recently probably put a lot of their reserves or a lot of their capital in things like STRC or MicroStrategy's preferred equity. If you take a look at a lot of the rates being offered in DeFi, they just so happen to be just under what MicroStrategy and STRC is paying. I believe the vast majority of DeFi out there is literally just taking loans against user funds in DeFi protocols and investing those funds into STRC, keeping 2%, and then paying out the user anywhere from 8 to 10. This, in my opinion, is just a Terra Luna-like situation all over again. And I believe it could have deep-rooted implications for the entire DeFi market. What we see right now is STRC depegging, and that could be the reason why people have been running to sell off crypto to cover the collateral. Now, guys, like I said, I have no proof that this is what's happening. But a lot of people are asking me, what is the biggest red flag you see in the market right now? Guys, I think it's the downstream effects of people potentially getting greedy, thinking STRC was free money, plugging it into the back end of yield generation protocols, only to find out that it wasn't free money after all. We'll see what ends up happening, but I just think there is something going on in the market right now. We haven't yet figured it out. We haven't yet seen the blow up, but guys, that's how these downturns finally end. Someone ends up floating to the surface. I wouldn't be surprised if this was somehow at the root of it. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. For now, Mickle out.